Butler Nepure, and these are tonight's top stories.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa commissions a $3.6 billion United States mining and energy industrial park in Beitbridge.
Major boost for the agricultural sector. Government taking delivery of 189 tractors from Belarus.
Beyond our borders, South Sudan orders the closure of schools due to a worsening heat wave.
All the fixtures are out. That is in your sport. Scotland FC will host Triangle United in the season opener at Trufaro Stadium. That is set for Friday. We'll bring you details on that and a whole lot more in sport. But let's start with tonight's top story.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa has described the latest $3.6 billion United States mining and energy industrial park being established by a Chinese company in Beitbridge as confirmation that Zimbabwe is a safe investment destination.
Well, the president did commission part of the energy metallurgical plant in Beitbridge today. And let's get our first report from Sfiso Swanda.
The Palm River Energy Metallurgical Project in Beitbridge will be constructed by a Chinese company, Jiangling, which is investing $3.6 billion United States dollars. The project falls under the Beitbridge Special Economic Zones, and President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who commissioned part of the plant this Monday, described that initiative as an example of several successful partnerships between Zimbabwe and its strategic alliances.
The progress we are seeing here is also a positive result of my government's engagement and re-engagement policy that has led to growing confidence in Zimbabwe as a favorable investment destination. More companies from our strategic friends and partners, the People's Republic of China, and indeed from across the world, remain welcome to invest in our motherland, Zimbabwe. As you are aware, the mining sector plays a crucial role in fostering economic development. It is a major creator of both direct and indirect employment opportunities, which significantly impact local communities. Through investments by industry players, mining operations can improve infrastructure, such as roads, schools, and healthcare facilities. In our economy, the sector not only contributes through exports revenue and taxes, but also supports ancillary business of related downstream industries and services, further driving economic activity in our motherland.
He said the Palm River Energy Metallurgical Special Economic Zones project will propel the country's industrialization agenda, unlocking unprecedented opportunities for employment and technological advancements.
I commend the Zimbabwe Jintai Resources Private Company Limited under the investment entity Jinglian Shangxi Holding Company for their bold decision to invest US $3.6 billion into this metallurgical and energy hub. Well done, well done. At the heart of this special economic zone lies the integration of energy and metallurgy, two critical sectors that have the potential to redefine our industrial landscape in the country. These integrated systems and processes highlight the drive towards issues of sustainable mining, low greenhouse gas emissions, low waste production and energy self-sufficiency through recycling of the resultant waste. I applaud the fact that the project targets the production of 2 million tons of chromium-based materials and 1 million tons of coke per year. While the growing demand for minerals and metals provides economic opportunities, significant challenges are likely to emerge if the climate-driven clean energy transition is not managed responsibly and sustainably. The planned construction of a 1,200 megawatts green power and integrated power generation plant by Zimbabwe Jintai Resources Private Limited is a welcome initiative. This first phase has already been completed with a 100 megawatts thermal power generation plant currently being commissioned, which should produce around 50 megawatts by the end of March. The coal wash plant with a 160,000 tons per year capacity has been completed, as well as the chrome smelting plant.
The president, however, called on mining companies to adhere to the country's regulatory requirements and seek to serve local communities.
In order for mining houses to attain the social license to operate, they should engage in practices that actively manage and mitigate the social and environmental impacts of their operations, of local communities and the environment. This is through active engagement with local communities to understand their needs and concerns, as well as incorporating their input into project planning and decision making. In this regard, the ongoing projects by the company as part of its corporate and social responsibility programs are steps in the right direction. By so doing, they have created employment for the locals and also provided job training for surrounding communities, as well as offered attachment opportunities for learners in the area.
The Chinese government and its companies have cooperated with Zimbabwe in many projects, including the Hwange Unit 7 and 8 Thermal Power Station Expansion Project, the new Parliament building in Mount Hampden, and the upgrade of the country's airports. Sifiso Spanda, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
Now, the $3.6 billion United States mining and energy industrial park being established in Beitbridge is set to create more than 10,000 jobs.
The mining and energy industrial park that will catapult Zimbabwe into an upper middle income society by 2030 is here. This is Palm River Energy and Metallurgical Mining Resources Value Addition Plant, sitting on a 5,163 hectares special economic zone in Beitbridge, Matabeleland South. The $3.6 billion United States project, which has already transformed Beitbridge in Matabeleland South Province and Zimbabwe's entire ferrochrome industry, is currently employing more than 1,000 employees and is set to create 10,000 jobs upon completion.
To now, the industrial zone has received an investment of $300 million USD already. Looking ahead, we plan to invest an additional $3 billion USD to establish the 2 million ton ferrochrome plant, along with supporting metallurgical, energy, and the coal-chemical industries. Once these projects are completed, they are expected to generate an annual output value of $2 billion and create over 10,000 jobs.
With coal from Tuli Coal, a joint venture between the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Palm River Energy and Metallurgical Mining, and Wange Coal, these machines will this weekend turn and start producing 100,000 tons of ferrochrome and 50 megawatts of electricity into the national grid.
When all these are fully functional, they will generate a value of over $2 billion US. In terms of the milestones, there was reference to contribution to the 2030 upper middle income economy vision. At that stage, this project envisages 500,000 tons of ferrochrome, 500,000 tons of coking coal, at least 250 megawatts of power, and 1 million tons of carbon steel production.
As Zimbabwe surges towards an upper middle income society by 2030, there is consensus among stakeholders that value addition of minerals will spur industrial growth and development.
As a province, we are proud of this transformative project that you brought to us as a nation. We are honored to hail from the province that is hosting such a noteworthy project, which after its completion is set to become the world's lowest cost and most competitive energy and metallurgical special economic zone. It is from this massive project that we are assured that the provincial and national mining sector targets will be achieved.
Zimbabwe is a nation brimming with potential, a land blessed with abundant natural resources, a vibrant cultural heritage, and a resilient, hardworking people. Under His Excellency President Mnangagwa's open for business policy, Zimbabwe has emerged as a beacon of opportunity. Today, a large number of Chinese companies contribute to this nation's development, with nearly half investing in the mining sector. It is the spirit of openness coupled with Zimbabwe's immense potential that inspired Shanxi Xinganlian Holding Group to establish the Xintai Palm River Industrial Park here.
The project is being implemented in 5 phases, and upon completion, it will not only provide value addition services for minerals, but will also feed electricity into the national grid. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
Earlier on this Monday, President Emmerson Mnangagwa visited the Namibian embassy in Harare to convey his condolences after the death of that country's founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma.
The Namibian founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, died on the 8th of this month, and burial is set for this Saturday in the country's capital, Windhoek. President Mnangagwa, who was accompanied by Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Professor Emon Murwira, was welcomed by Namibia Ambassador to Zimbabwe, Mr. Nicholas Kanje, and embassy staff. Speaking to journalists after signing the condolence book, President Mnangagwa described the late Dr. Sam Nujoma as a great leader of the Southern African region.
We are saddened by the passing on of this great leader of Southern Africa. We in Zimbabwe cherish his leadership. We were like twins, Zimbabwe and Namibia. So we say to our brothers and sisters in Namibia, we mourn with you.
Dr. Nujoma died at the age of 95 at a hospital in Windhoek. He served Namibia as president between 1990 and 2005 and was among the few remaining African revolutionaries of his time. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
Now, the Zimbabwean-Belarus agriculture mechanization program has entered the third phase, with government taking delivery of the first batch of 189 tractors from Belarus.
Relations between Zimbabwe and Belarus continue to grow, as demonstrated by the arrival of this new fleet of 189 tractors under the two countries' multi-million-dollar agriculture mechanization deal.
This is the evidence of growing relations between Belarus and Zimbabwe. We're currently unpacking the third phase of agricultural mechanization facility supported by Belarus tractors. So in February, we receiving 189 brand new Belarus tractors, consisting of 81 horsepower and 107 horsepower tractors. This is the first batch of a total quantity of 3,282 tractors that are going to come into Zimbabwe.
Since the commissioning of the Zimbabwe-Belarus agriculture mechanization program by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in 2020, records in crop production have been broken.
In terms of the capacity to produce, I think that has really not gone unabated, because what you continuously see are records being broken ever since we started this program, is one of the contributing key factors and key success investments that the government of Zimbabwe has undertaken. We are also going to see the coming in of another massive fleet of combine harvesters, which number a total of 80. As a holistic picture, you also then realize that it's one of the reasons why, as a country, we have started investing in silo storage capacity to make sure that the actual production that we are seeing as a nation can also then be stored for food security as well as for nutrition security. That guarantees the sustainability and growth of the economy of Zimbabwe.
Information gathered by the ZBC News showed that about 700 tractors will be delivered under the Belarus-Zimbabwe mechanization program by end of this year. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe's recovery and growth trajectory continues to attract the interest of multilateral financiers, with the African Development Bank predicting an over 5% growth for the country's economy this year.
In its latest African Economic Performance Report, the AFDB is giving a positive outlook of Zimbabwe's economy. At 5.3%, the bank is ranking Zimbabwe on the second spot in terms of recovery and growth compared to other Southern Africa economies. Agriculture is cited by the FDB as the main sector that will record major recovery strides, followed by mining, transport and distribution, construction, retail, manufacturing, among others. University of Zimbabwe Business School Director Professor Albert Makojekanwa notes that despite the FDB forecast falling short of the government's range at 6%, findings by the global financier reflect confidence on recovery.
Agriculture as a sector is expected to contribute around 1.7%. We also find that the mining sector is expected to contribute 0.7%. And then the retail sector around 1.1%, the manufacturing 0.3%. So in summary, we see that all these sectors that are pillars to the economy of Zimbabwe are very much going to grow positively.
Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce President Mr. Tapiwa Karoro says consolidating the current gains is critical.
When we look at the current rains, it gives us the hope that certainly our largely agro-based economy will be able to pick up as we see agricultural-based value chains, obviously contributing significantly to the GDP. As business, however, we continue to engage our monetary and fiscal authorities.
The AFDB is the latest institution to give a vote of confidence on the economic recovery after the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank earlier this year released the reports supporting the 6% growth forecast. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, the Southern African Development Community SADC ministers and senior officials responsible for transport, ICT, information and meteorology, they are meeting in Harare to review progress on regional integration and economic growth.
Monday's session drew permanent secretaries from various SADC member states representing the key sectors of transport, ICT, information, and meteorology. In an interview on the sidelines of the SADC cluster meeting of senior officials responsible for transport, ICT, information and meteorology, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Engineer Joy Makumbe emphasized the need for a holistic approach to transportation networks.
We need a holistic approach as countries to make sure that the transportation networks are good. And that is what we need to look at as a region to say, how are we going to get the funding? If it's in terms of designs, in terms of feasibility studies, then we need to approach it as a block so that we get funding for these projects. Then you look at logistics. We are saying that cross-border logistics, they have to be looked at holistically. You find that countries tend to come up with policies that are not aligned to other countries, our neighbors.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology, Postal and Courier Services, Dr. Biola Chirume highlighted regional initiatives to enhance digital transformation.
Issues like the use of broadband or expansion of our broadband infrastructure to reach all the people, including those in the marginalized, and is SADC speaking to issues around the youths and women. We are also talking about a national emergency telecommunications plan. You appreciate in the region that we have had quite a number of severe disasters due to the changing environment in terms of the weather. And we are also talking about how telecoms can actually help to mitigate that, to raise awareness as well as inform and advise.
The meeting provided a platform for senior officials to review progress, share experiences, and discuss challenges in their different sectors. The discussions will inform the SADC cluster meeting of ministers responsible for transport, ICT, information, and meteorology scheduled for this Thursday. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
The Pan-African Parliament has opened its permanent committees sitting in Midrand, South Africa, with lawmakers, civil society and stakeholders rallying behind the African Union reparations agenda.
The official opening of the sitting of PAP permanent committees marks a critical juncture for the continent, with lawmakers from across the continent seeking to deliberate on how to shape policy for African development in light of the AU theme, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. Over 20 new legislators from different countries were sworn to mark the beginning of their journey, while messaging from different speakers centered on promoting good governance.
Through your relentless effort in legislative oversight, model laws, policy formulation, and advocates for the protection of human rights, you are shaping the future of Africa towards Agenda 2063.
I want to reiterate our call for the peaceful resolution of conflicts through dialogue and mediation, because that, Honorable President, has been the backdrop of our own foreign policy. I'm also pleased to hear that PAP will be tabling a motion here in this sitting wherein you are going to rally behind the South African government amidst the current threats that are emerging from the White House.
PAP President Chief Fortune Charumbira's remarks set the tone for decisive deliberations for action in shaping Africa's reparation strategy.
So we are going this week to come up with issues of the continent per committee. Each committee will try and identify and engage on those issues that can uplift our people, citizens on this continent. And that's why we are here to meet in committees.
The permanent committees are crucial in asserting Africa's global call for reparations for damages inflicted by slave trade and colonialism, not limited to finances, but political and social violations. Meanwhile, election of the fourth PAP vice president is expected on Thursday to complete the bureau establishment. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Midrand.
Well, Urungwe man Try Motore has been arrested and is alleged to have killed 3 people, including his wife, Moline Chabayanzara.
Undu community in Urungwe, Mashonaland West Province can now breathe a sigh of relief after triple murder suspect Try Motore was arrested on Sunday. Tore was arrested after a swift reaction by villagers who saw him trying to commit suicide by slitting his own throat. He was later disarmed and taken to Karoe Hospital, where he is receiving treatment under police guard.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police would like to confirm the arrest of Traimo Tore in Urungwe last night. He was arrested after a team of police officers which had been deployed to track his movements, got information, and they sought the assistance of the public. He was then apprehended while hiding in a bush. In the process, he tried to kill himself by stabbing using a knife several times. And as we speak, he is now admitted at Karoe Hospital under a police guard.
Circumstances are that Tore, who had been married to the now deceased Moline Chabayanzara for 3 years, had long-standing domestic issues. It is alleged that on the fateful day, the couple had an altercation that caught the attention of headman Nyikadzino. It is suspected that Tore held the headman hostage before killing him, and a 17-year-old relative, Annette Nabwalo, who had visited Tore's homestead to watch a movie. The community became suspicious when the two failed to return home after several days. A relative visited Tore's homestead and found him at home, but he claimed to have no knowledge of his wife and other missing persons' whereabouts. Tore also stands accused of attempting to rape the relative after she suggested visiting a prophet to gain insight into the disappearance of the trio. A search party by community members led to the discovery of Chabayanzara's body a few meters from the homestead, while Nyikadzino's body was found in a disused latrine, and that of a 17-year-old victim was found buried under trees. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, that report there from Peter, and a whole lot more, you can find them on our website. Joyce.
Yes, our website is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
We're also very active on our social media platforms. You can go there, Facebook, X, and Instagram, ZBC News Online, yeah?
It is, and here are stories still to come in this bulletin. Beyond our borders, South Sudan orders the closure of schools due to a worsening heat wave.
And excitement is building up ahead of the very first match of the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League, which returns this week, and it is New Boys Scotland and Triangle. We'll be giving you a full rundown of what you can expect this coming weekend.
We're off to a break, yeah?
Yeah, we're off to a break.
Yes.
Be sure to join us for a lot more when we come back.
Stroke of genius! Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh! Zimbabwe yakuzosumuka manje. Stroke of genius andiri kureva chera. President E.D. Mnangagwa vari kupa mabankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program. Takanga takapuwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupinda mumabhengi semama mumabusiness kuti tipewo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo mani. Zvino nestroke of genius yekupuwa matitle deeds tikupinduka mubhengi sevamwe totopuwa maloni takutodevelopa mafamu.
Saka kutuudza kuti land yese yacho nevalue.
Ende ukapuwa title deed iroro chera. Mundu wako uchatoreki yatova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru. Ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo. Security of tenure.
Iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi.
Exactly.
Zvichifambiswa sei?
President E.D. Mnangagwa igenius manje. Vakabva vati kuti zvinyatsofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent. Ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemumapazi ehurumende.
Alright. But you unozviziva iwo kuti kune maland barons akazara ukanopamba minda dzevanhu.
Dai vatoregera zvavo ndiwo ukopokopo usiri kudiwa na president Mnangagwa irowo. Ndio saka land tenure implementation committee yakati ngatishandisei ma ID numbers, namba dzepachitupa kuti munhu akwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri plus land tenure iyi committee haisi kupa minda patsvayo. Iri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema title deeds.
Alright. Iwe saka zvichida kuti tatu protected kase mavarimi.
Exactly much.
Ukazwa
kuti une stroke of genius here. President idi apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi.
I love my boys. In the holidays, they sometimes spend their whole day playing soccer. They are my angels. I don't know why people in this area are always telling lies about them. But no matter what happens, I will always be there for them. That's what mums are for. New Aura Beauty Soap. For skin that glows. From the House of Zimgold.
Welcome back. The chaotic management at Harare City Council, exposed through the ongoing Commission of Inquiry, has spilled to the roads amid revelations that the city's traffic management system is in shambles.
Traffic accidents are now defining most intersections in Harare due to non-functional traffic lights. According to the city fathers, Harare's traffic management systems are in tatters, running at only half the installed capacity.
Non-functional are 103. Percentage functional is 52.8%. Non-functional is around 47%.
If we were to look at the city centre alone, if you were asked by this commission to give a figure of how much it would cost to fix them so that they are operational on acceptable standard levels, what figure would you come up with?
From the figures that I've been told, it will take anything between 500,000 to 700,000 to have them fixed and operating with the city centre alone.
While the city's infrastructure bleeds, executives at Town House are fattening their pockets with evidence presented at the Commission of Inquiry showing the town clerk's monthly salary pegged at $27,000 US. The total salary bill for executives was estimated at $500,000 US monthly, prioritized over the cost of repairing damaged infrastructure. Harare's traffic situation has degenerated into a jungle, ranging from traffic accidents to traffic congestions.
There is a cost on human life, which you can't put a dollar value to. I think the issue is almost getting out of hand. You see the amount of congestion, the level of congestion that takes place at the traffic lights, and the ensuing confusion that at times results in congestion, where you easily see people spending 30 minutes or more logged at a traffic light, is not something that we would be expecting from our city council.
Experts have denounced the lethargy at Harare City Council, which has affected service delivery. The local authority is currently in the eye of a storm with allegations of corruption that have seen council losing millions of dollars in potential revenue.
Right, so that remains one of the stories that we have continuously updated you on regarding what is taking place with the Commission of Inquiry into the affairs of Harare City Council. Let's now cross to Marilyn Gwenya. She is on standby with more news and at our Montrose studios. Marilyn, great to see you.
Good evening, and many thanks to you, Butler and Joyce. And now the new passport offices which opened to the public in Hwange last year have brought convenience to communities in Hwange and Victoria Falls.
Mr. Patrick Marriott is a Zimbabwean citizen who is resident in Cape Town. He makes a tourism annual pilgrimage to the Victoria Falls in Hwange, where he enjoys his country's diverse flora and fauna. Contemplating the renewal of his travel document, it took him a couple of minutes to complete the exercise at the new Hwange passport office. In the past times, it would have taken a journey to either Lupane or Bulawayo, and for Patrick and many others, life has never been better. When the Second Republic rolled out passport offices across the country as part of devolving services to communities, the convenience experience has left citizens pleased.
I'm very impressed because the first impression is this place is very clean, the staff are very well dressed and they're very respectful and very, very helpful. So hopefully today I'm going to get my passport documentation in and then get my new passport in a week or two's time.
Binga and Hwange districts have become the biggest beneficiaries of the service. Having yet to contend with arduous journeys, the Hwange Passport Office is offering timely efficiency at little or no extra cost for many.
Kwenye passport office Hwange chinhu chakanaka chistereki ndikurangarira madhezi atime unotora mapassports kubulawayo kana kuti kuharare where everyone aienda kuya kuti anotore passport vaimukira paine long queues, but now there are very few people and time inotorwa yacho ishoma.
Ende siyataba ngoba sesile passport office eHwange, whereas kudala besihamba umango sisiyafika kubolupane sivukela 1 2 kulama queues and kwesinye isikhathi ukwanisa ukuthi uhambe mawuphuzile ufika ugcina ungasathathanga ipassport and you come back, you go another day. Hayi kade kungani kuyasikhathaza kakhulu.
Timbera bwino pamene vanatisegurira passport office yapa Hwange tipasa zikomo Second Republic na ntchito imene vari kutigwirizana nayo makamaka kumbuyo uko teze vantu venze vovutika maningi kupezeka teze kwera mabasi kuendotenga mapassport kubulawayo.
Another passport office project in Binga is nearing completion. To date, the new Hwange Passport Office has served over 10,000 people since its inception.
Reduction of pensionable age, decentralization of pension services, and full benefits to spouses in case of death took center stage during public hearings for the State Service Pensions Bill at Lupane Center.
The public hearings being led by the Parliament Portfolio Committee on Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare is one of the many initiatives by government to ensure full benefits by public servants during and post-service. People in Matabeleland, North Province welcomed the State Service Bill, with some recommending that the pensionable age being reduced to 50 years.
Sikhangelele ukuthi ibhili leyi pension age kayehle from 70 at least to 50.
Njalo siyacela ukuthi nxa obaba sebetshonile izimali lezi bazithole ngesikhathi bengazidubekeli, kungathiwa mama hambe lungisa imali leyi eHarare mina ngilapha eLupane ngisuke St Paul ngade from St Paul ngisize Lupane ntshove eHarare ngiyabe ngingalayo leyo mali. Ubaba uthe esitshiya singala mali. Sicela uhulumende asikhangelele kulokho asizwele futhi izimali zangikhona sizizuze at least 3 months kungadluli lapho ngoba siyabe sisidlani singomama sisele labantwana.
That period when I was contributing US dollars, why can't I be refunded those contributions in US dollars which I had contributed? And then when I was contributing the ZIC or the bond, why should I not be given that bond which I've been contributing?
The minister is given powers to appoint the board. I think it would be okay that if it can be done by the Parliament, so that the body will be independent.
Parliament explained the new trajectory being proposed in the new bill.
See, with NASA, it's a social security aspect where you deductions, that is 9%, your 4.5%, and the 4.5% that comes from your employer goes to NASA and directly is used to pay those already on pension. It's called a pay as you go. So the new regime that being proposed by the new bill is a defined benefit fund where you contribute up to a certain age, and the fund makes investments as calculated by actuarial scientists, what would be the output, etc. And you, as the contributor, you are guaranteed a benefit from the proceeds of the investment.
The hearings, designed to gather public input, will extend to other provinces and conclude on the 28th of this month. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Lupane.
Government has commissioned a fire tender for Gokwe South District in yet another milestone as devolution funds continue to transform communities countrywide. Our Midlands Bureau Chief Tafaraj Kumira was in Gokwe and filed the following report.
The firefighting trucks are part of the 133 fire tenders acquired from Belarus by government through the use of devolution funds. The Gokwe community is excited by the development, which they say will help in saving lives and property.
Even patichazenge tichiwana zvinhu tichange tichingokurudzira kuti varambe vachibata sokubata kwavo kwakanaka. Tinotenda kuti ezvinota kuziva kuti pakangoita apo any problem yaitika as long as vakasira kupa report kuti kunokupatsva tane kuti zvinotibatsira.
Development yatati kwaitofara nayo zvikuru chaizvo nokuti tanga tisinawo mushini unodzima moto.
Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Oenwe, chipped in saying the Second Republic will continue to implement life-changing programs in line with the Inclusive Development Agenda.
This event showcases the new dispensation's development thrust of improving and modernizing service delivery, guided by the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambuzo's call to action, no compromise to service delivery blueprint, and the mantra of leaving no one and no place behind. As in the past, Gokwe Town Council used improvised fire tenders with limited efficiency and effectiveness.
The devolution funds introduced by the Second Republic in 2019 are proving to be a game changer across the country, helping local authorities to improve service delivery. Tafaraj Kumira, ZBC News, Gokwe.
As the country continues to receive rains, communal farmers in Masvingo under the Fumvudza Intwasa program are optimistic of a good harvest this year.
Mr. Peter Mungwanda and his family of Matende village in Masvingo adopted the Fumvudza Intwasa concept of farming since 2018 when it was introduced by government. Starting with just one plot, they have since increased their plots to 7 this year, cultivating different crops.
Takuita chirongwa chedu chokutondotora huku tichiikira tichifidhamo kuti tiwanewo zvinotibetsera nokuda kuekera kwepfumvudza yatakadi patakatanga apa.
Other farmers around the area attributed the success of the Fumvudza Intwasa program to government support.
Tinotova employed kare pamba pedu nebasa rero all round the year tinenge tiri busy tichishanda. Ende patinoona goho redu rinotibhadhara nokuti tinokwanisa kutengesawo.
Tumene edu nemasupervisor edu tinoshanda nawo zvakanaka. Vanhu ivavo vakatidzidzisa kurima.
Agricultural and Rural Development Advisory Services Acting Director, Mr. Leonard Munamati, who was in Masvingo recently, said the Fumvudza program has been a success for the 2024-2025 summer cropping season.
We have seen that generally the crop is looking very good, it's in a very good condition, and we are actually expecting a bumper harvest.
This year, Masvingo province exceeded its target of 1 million Fumvudza plots, an indication that more communal farmers are adopting the climate-proof concept that has seen many communities become food secure. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
And that's it from myself, Marilyn Gonya, and the Montrose crew for tonight. Butler is on standby with more news. Butler, it's back to you.
And the entire Montrose crew there. Now, the trial of businessmen Moses Mpofu and Mike Chimombe, who allegedly defrauded government of $7 million United States in a Bush presidential got pass-on scheme, failed to proceed at the High Court due to Chimombe's ill health.
The trial could not resume this Monday as scheduled after Chimombe, through his lawyers, presented a medical report in court which was not disputed by the state. The trial has been rescheduled for next week, Monday. The pair's trial, which was supposed to start last year in October, has been faced with several postponements, mostly at the instigation of the defense, who have been making multiple applications. The accused, who are remanded in custody, made an application for referral of their matter to the Constitutional Court, which was, however, quashed for lack of merit. The accused persons further challenged the eligibility of assessors who were presiding, together with Justice Pisirai Kwenda, arguing that they were too old to follow proceedings. The assessors were, however, replaced by new ones. Chimombe and Mpofu are accused of using forged documents to secure a tender to supply goods under the presidential goods pass-on scheme and allegedly swindled government of $7 million United States. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has pledged support to private security companies to ensure enhanced security services and public trust.
Public and private sector stakeholders convened in Harare for a private security industry annual conference. Security Association of Zimbabwe President Mr. Trevor Jakachira noted the need for regulatory framework to professionalize private security companies.
Private security is fragmented, where players are doing whatever they want, and like what we always say and advocated for. And I'm happy that the minister have actually articulated that, where we are looking at and pushing and working with the government so that we see the standardization and professionalization of the industry.
Guest of honor and the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Chido Sanyatwe, pledged government's continued support, acknowledging the sector's vital role.
Tiri kufara as a ministry kuti iri kushanda pamwe chete nema private security sectors kuti tione kuchengetedza munyaya dzesecurity dzaakuya munzira dzakasiyana-siyana nenyaya dzesecurity. Taakuda kuti titaure nezwi rimwe chete, the ministry, the government na ivo ma-private sectors tinge tichishanda tiri pamwe chete.
The meeting comes at a time when the nation is witnessing a surge in armed robbery cases involving details from private security companies. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Right, let's take a look now at stories making headlines across the world in our regional and international news. Now, the Sudanese army has reclaimed 2 cities that had been under the control of paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF.
Sudan's army took back control of the town of El Gitaina, just south of the capital, from the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, and broken the paramilitary group's siege on the strategic city of El Obeid to the west over the weekend. The Sudanese army says this was a huge advantage, as it broke a nearly 2-year siege imposed by the RSF on the key southern state capital of El Obeid, which connects the capital, Khartoum, to Darfur. Analysts say the conflict had split the country, with the army controlling the north and east, while the RSF controlled most of the Darfur region in the west and parts of the south. The 2 warring parties have been fighting for power since April 2023.
South Sudan ordered the closure of schools due to worsening heatwave at the weekend. The country also introduced a 2-week shift-based working system for civil servants. The temperature in the East African country are expected to reach 45 degrees in the next 7 days. The Minister of Environment and Forestry, Josephine Napon Cosmas, said learning institutions have been closed for 2 weeks starting from Friday last week, while government institutions will operate on a half-day basis. Napon said the ministry will consider reopening schools in the 2nd week of March. Meanwhile, the country's health ministry has put a system in place to detect and respond to medical conditions related to the heat wave.
The main news will take a break now. We'll be back shortly with business news. Stay with us.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
To the back of the net!
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
This is the time to take risks.
Incredible!
I've heard good things about you. Don't let me down.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
The Minister of Skills Audit and Development, Honorable Professor Paul Mavima, Permanent Secretary, Ambassador Rudo Chitiga, Directors and staff in the ministry, join His Excellency, President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, and the people of Zimbabwe in commemorating National Youth Day. National Youth Day to us is an opportunity to celebrate young Zimbabweans and their achievements in the development of the country and their role in building Zimbabwe's future. In today's rapidly changing world, skilling, reskilling and upskilling are essential to building a future-ready workforce. The ministry remains committed to equipping the youth with the necessary skills needed for the jobs of tomorrow, in line with our vision of attaining an upper-middle income society by the year 2030. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlope.
Staying with us, Zimbabwe is exploring modalities to facilitate a reduction in fuel costs to increase industrial output and promote competitiveness of the economy.
Over the past few years, the Second Republic has made significant strides in ensuring consistent fuel availability in the Zimbabwean market. The stability has been crucial in maintaining economic activity and preventing business challenges. While availability has improved, Industry and Commerce is expecting affordable fuel costs.
In the fuel industry, we are amongst the highly regularized or industry where we have got so many regulatory authorities. I think if I can count them, they could add up to 8 or 10 regulatory authorities that are in the fuel industry. So some of them, there could be an element of duplication. We are glad now we are talking of realigning and streamlining our regulatory authorities and measures so that there is less or limited duplication of roles. So there we feel we need to do something in terms of the major cost drivers which are driving our prices higher, which are coming in form of levies. Those levies definitely needs to be revisited.
Economist Mr. Stevenson Dlamini emphasized the potential economic benefits from affordable fuel prices.
A move that will ensure that as a nation we participate effectively even in the African continental free trade area and also promote regional trade integration in line with the SADC goals.
Government has reaffirmed commitment to affordable fuel costs.
The duty we charge, the transportation costs that we charge, all other sources of revenue that we derive from fuel, that is a decision that we can make as a country, and we have to look at it for so that one, we don't scuttle the supply side, which is already assured. At the same time, we must find ways of making sure that industry can compete because of the fuel that they get.
Government's initiative on affordable fuel costs comes at a crucial time as Zimbabwe seeks to enhance competitiveness and leverage on opportunities presented by the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that is our look at business news. Let's take a look now at the arts. Washington's Arts Center is abuzz with excitement as its members are preparing for the upcoming sculpture competition that is set for next Tuesday.
In an interview with ZBC News this Monday, Chitungwiza Arts Center Vice Secretary reviewed the details of the competition set for the 4th of next month.
Competition edi tichaita masubmissions edu musi wa 28 February. Award and ceremony chizoita musi wa 8 March. Saka pano pane pakaungana vanhu nemaartists vakawanda neamaneshamwari nemaministries kubva ku National Art Council kusvika ku Ministry of Youth vanenge vari panapa. Competition kwatiri semaartists ari paChitungwiza Arts Center iri kuya nema-opportunities ekuti zvivezwa zvedu, basa redu richange richizo-exhibitwa ku-UK, ku-United Kingdom. Izvozvo zvakanakira kuti matalents edu sema-artist tikumaita showcase at a global level.
The artists are eager to showcase their talents.
Ini semunhukadzi ndichigadzira chinhu ichi tiri kutotraya kuriritira mhuri dzedu sema-artists.
Basa iri ndinorifarira nekuti rinoita kuti ndiburitse zviri mumwoyo mangu ndichinyora nhau kubudikidza nematools andinoshandisa.
PaChitungwiza Arts Center panowanikwa maartist akawanda anosvika kuma 300. Saka pakugadzira competition pane kukwikwidzana kwakawanda kunoburitsira dingindira iri pachena necompetition yemasculptures, of which out of all the sculptures pachasarudzwa 50 achapinda pacompetition.
Ukuveza sisi John Rhodes tobva tasanganisa marwisiro atakazoita wese vatema tichidzosera kuti tichidzirira nyika yedu zvose izvo zvetiri kuzvisa padombo rimwe chete nokuyanana kwatakazoita kwokupedzisira tichikurudzira runyararo.
Ndingangoti awa ndiyo isekuru kaguya wakangomonererwawo nezishato iri kuratidza kuti wairwadziwa nezvaiitika munyika medu, asi takazosununguwo zvedu kuti hanani zvese zvanaka, saka muri kuona nyoka yakudei zvayo kwakuda kutoenda uko.
The competition seeks to promote and celebrate local talent.
Let's now take a break. We'll be back with sport right after these messages.
Want to elevate your entertainment? Then add Showmax to your DSTV subscription at a discount. Showmax is not a TV channel. It's an on-demand video streaming service on showmax.com. To add Showmax to your DSTV subscription, simply use the My DSTV app. Select Add Showmax. The app screen will display the discount you qualify for. Now you can enjoy exclusive shows and movies you won't find anywhere else. Add Showmax to elevate your entertainment.
The University of Zimbabwe opened applications for August 2025 undergraduate enrollment from the 10th of February to the 15th of March 2025. The institution is offering a broad and comprehensive range of undergraduate programs that are designed towards equipping graduates with the critical skills necessary for the development of the nation. These exciting programs are offered from the 11 faculties of the university, which represent the key sectors of the economy. These are faculties of Agriculture, Environment and Food Systems, Arts and Humanities, Business Management Sciences and Economics, Computer Engineering, Informatics and Communications, Education, Engineering and the Built Environment, Law, Medicine and Health Sciences, Science, Social and Behavioral Sciences, Veterinary Science. In addition, the University of Zimbabwe will be moving across the country to offer advisory services and facilitate application processes for the convenience of the public. Prospective students can visit any of the following centers to access these services. Details of application requirements and procedure are accessed on the UZ website www.uz.ac.zw and the Sunday Mail of the 9th of February 2025. Kuziva kugona nekuita. The University of Zimbabwe, educating to change lives.
Welcome back to the main news. Let's now take a look at sport. The 2025 Premier Soccer League kicks off this Friday with New Boys Scotland FC taking on league returnees Triangle United at Rufaro Stadium.
The wait is over as the 2025 campaign kicks off this Friday with Scotland FC hosting Triangle at Rufaro Stadium. The expensively assembled Scotland FC will have an early test of their pedigree when they face league returnees at Triangle United. The Mabugu-based club lured some of the best players to their camp, including reigning Soccer Star of the Year Autumnson, last year's top goal scorer Lino Chukua, and Kama Billiard, among others. Clash will see an exuberant club up against another that has been quietly assembling. On Saturday, defending champions Simba Bora host FC Platinum at Wadzanai Stadium in arguably the match of the weekend. FC Platinum were the only team to beat Simba Bora at Wadzanai Stadium, and the Shamba-based side will be plotting a revenge. On the same day, Herentals hosted Tier 1 at Rufaro Stadium. Manika Diamonds take on Yada at Sakuva Stadium, with New Boys Kwekwe United locking horns with Ngezi Platinum Stars at Bada Stadium. Caps United will make the long trip to Sumbanje for a jet against the Greenfield in the final match of the day. Sunday sees Dynamos taking on the PC Carib at Rufaro, while Moz at Jet Highlanders at Baobab Stadium. Lawrence Ruseda, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, exciting times indeed as we look ahead to the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League. Now, the season opening Castle Challenge Cup played at the weekend between Dynamos and Simba Bora lived up to its billing. Some flashes of brilliance from some of the players was on display.
The 2025 Castle Challenge Cup did not disappoint. Even the rains that came late into the match did not dampen the clash. Dynamos managed to dispatch Simba Bora 5-3 on penalties after the two sides had ended 1-0 in regulation time, with extra time also failing to separate the two cup holders from last season. As expected, with the first match of the season, some players showed a bit of rust, but that did not stop a few from standing out. Dynamos captain Emmanuel Jalai showed exactly why the Glamour Boys have fought to the nail to keep the pan-sized fullback. Jalai was a constant threat down the right flank, creating opportunities for his teammates, while also alert to track back and perform his defensive duties. Up against a pacey and tricky Ishmael Nyani and former Dynamos midfielder Emmanuel Soja, who consistently drifted to the left, Jalai showed exactly why he's rated highly with some astute defensive work, as well as showing his other side when deployed as a hybrid fullback, engineering play and initiating attacks. While Jalai was standing out for Dynamos, young defender Ishiane Sumauchi was doing the same for defending PSO champions at Simba Bora. Mauchi was voted among the best 11 players last season, commanded the Simba Bora backline with distinction. Blessed with height and speed, Mauchi showcased that to the fullest, making recovery runs and crucial interceptions before portraying his other side of the game after coming up with some good passes and building up play from the back. The goal he scored was just an icing on the cake, as he had done a good job keeping a Ghanaian striker Frank Ajiman quiet. It was a defender's show on Saturday, with a new Dynamos recruit, Clive Mandive, also standing out for Dimbare. Mandive built play from the back for Dimbare and had great awareness when Simba Bora were trying quick breaks. With Frank Makarati gone, Mandive might just be the piece to cover the void left by the long-serving captain. Ghanaian striker Frank Ajiman also showcased their good instincts, and Temptation Chiwunga portrayed that he can be a deep-lying playmaker for Dimbare, while young Enacio Perezo had a good cameo. For Simba Bora, combative Blessing Derek gave a glimpse of what to expect, while Emmanuel Soja demonstrated his abilities on the ball.
Meanwhile, football fanatics are anticipating a thrilling 2025 domestic campaign following the release of the 2025 PSL fixtures.
With the Turquoise and goals back, the 2025 season promises to be a blockbuster and a crowd puller after a very active transfer window renewed the fans' interest in the local game. After the crowning of Simba Bora as the Premier Soccer League champions and Dynamos the Chibuku Super Cup victors, football fanatics in the country are delighted at how unpredictable the local premiership has turned over the years. While on a rainy day, the season opener, the Castle Challenge Cup, drew a lively crowd who appeared starved of the domestic flair to the extent of enduring the rain to feed their passion. With football known for creating die-hard fans, this news crew caught up with some of the renowned football fans from local clubs. We expressed their joy ahead of another exciting season and promised an improved attendance this year.
Bora and also Bora isusu sema fans it is our duty kuti isusu to create a conducive environment yekuti munhu ave nechidakudako chekuda kuya kubhora. semamuonera makaita nezuro kune munhu aida kutonoona kuti iyoyo masupporters ariko ana Chemofela iwawo ana Bobani iwawo ana Ogege iwawo vanenge vachiita sei. So that is our main duty yekuti please, it's a family environment. We want everyone to come to the stadium. Takuzadza ma stadium aya. We are the owners of the game.
Ndiyo inonzi passion manje. Masupporter anengwe yekuti chero zuva rikapisa variterere. Mvura yakanaya variterere.
It was euphoria at Rufaro Stadium as the rain could not draw away the crowd who gathered at Rufaro Stadium for the Castle Challenge Cup, a sure hint that 2025 may break attendance records if the relevant stakeholders play their part. Reynald Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
Right, looking forward to that. Now, Zimbabwe will be looking for a rare series win when they take on Ireland in the third and final T20 international set for Harare Sports Club tomorrow. Home conditions are in the Chevrons' favour, and the Chevrons will look to build on their recent success and seal a series victory. After rain washed out the first match, Zimbabwe bounced back in the second game to secure a 3-wicket win and take a game lead. Now, with the series on the line, Ireland will be desperate to level the score, while Zimbabwe are aiming to clinch a rare series victory on home soil. Zimbabwe and Ireland are evenly matched with 8 victories apiece in 17 meetings, with one match that was washed out. Now, with an outgoing tour to Bangladesh looming, Zimbabwe will be hoping to go out on a high note.
Well, that report concluding our look at sport for this evening, taking us to the weather report and forecast up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Hope I find you well. With the system over the Mozambique Channel, which is drawing out moisture from the southern parts of the country. So we should experience a bit of moisture drift from the southern parts of the country, but still over the northern parts, we still expect the intertropical convergence zone to be very active over those northern parts of the country. So we still expect a bit of moisture over parts of Mashonaland provinces into Matabeleland North, as well as northern parts of the Midlands. To the south, we're expecting the moisture to deficit over the southern parts, leading to more clearer conditions as we get into the later parts of this week, with sunny skies over those southern parts. But for tonight, we're expecting mild conditions across board, and it should be rather cooler over the south than to the north, where we're still expecting a few odd rain showers. But for Bulawayo, we're expecting more thunderstorms for the earlier part of the week and less as we get into the week ahead. For Matopo, we're expecting sunnier conditions into the weekend. Same for Gwanda, where we're expecting the sun to break around Thursday. There, Masvingo also expecting more sunny breaks as we get into Friday, but a few wet days on Tuesday and Wednesday. Same for Gwewe, we're expecting moisture to be still apparent. For Kwekwe, we're still expecting a bit of rain showers for much of Wednesday and slight chance on Thursday. Same for Kadoma, we're expecting more sunny breaks into the weekend. For Harare also, we're expecting Friday to have more sunny breaks, but for much of this week, we're still expecting a few rain showers. Chinhoyi also expecting a bit of precipitation up to Thursday, so we still remind you that when thunder rolls, it's best to be indoors. For Lupane, we're expecting a bit of rain showers as well, with a few sunny breaks. Same for those visiting the Victoria Falls, we're still expecting moisture over the northern parts of the country. The ITCZ is still being active over Kariba, as well as Bindura, where we're still expecting a bit of thunderstorms as well. For Friday over Marondo, we're expecting more sunny breaks, where we're expecting less in terms of rainfall as well. For Nyanga, we're expecting a bit of rainfall up to Thursday. So we still remind you that when there is rainfall, always plan your day with the weather in mind. That's all from the weather desk. It's back to the news desk.
Thanks, James, for the weather report and forecast. And it brings us to the end of the bulletin tonight.
Yes, it is a wrap. And from all of us here, it's good night.
Come in.
Knock, knock. Ah, what's he? Hello.
Hello makadizve.
Ndinofara makadizve nyu please garai zvenyu pachikafu.
Naite henyu.
Ndatogara.
Muchitambirei zvenyu. Ini ndinoitwa Esnat Mzanenhamo kana kuti amai guru mai Jeremiah. Mai guru wenyika. Ndiri munhu anozikamwa. Saka ndanga ndichida kumboona kuti ndingaite sei kuti ndipindewo pano paUZ. Ndakanzwa kuti muri kutora vanhu kuFaculty of Arts and Humanities.
Tigamuchire sisi Esnat. Maita zvakanaka.
Muchigamuchire izvi.
Ini ndonzi Professor Finus Mangena. Ndini Dean weFaculty of Arts and Humanities. Saka mauya kunzvimbo chaiyo. Tinokugamuchirai zvakanaka.
Aiwa maite henyu. Ndamboti bvunzei zvangu vanhu ndichisvika pano. Asi ndatiregai ndiende kuvakuru chaiko ndinozvinzwira ndega kuti ipo pano pane mafaculty akawanda. Asi ndachida kuziva kuti yenyu faculty iri unique pakuita sei kuti ndizive kuti pamwe ndingangodawo kupindawo.
Maita zvakanaka sisesnati mabvunza wakanaka zvikuru. Faculty yedu ndo imwe yemafaculty mahombe paUniversity of Zimbabwe. Asi inoitawo zvinhu zvikuru. Chekutanga Faculty of Arts and Humanities ndiyo inotraina languages across all, university yese. Inotraina languages.
Malanguage mitauro yedzimwe nyika.
Mitauro yedzimwe nyika nemitauro yedu zvese. Saka mwana akauya kuzodzidza atimboti kuFaculty of Medicine anofanira kuita language. Akauya kuzodzidza kuFaculty of Law anofanira kuita language. Akauya kuFaculty of Medicine anofanira kuita anofanira language. Akauya kuFaculty of Science zvimwe chete. And haiti izvozvo chete mai Jeremiah. Tinoziva kuti munhu kana afunda anofanira kugona kuita mabasa emaoko. Asi toda kuti munhu asangova namabasa emaoko chete, ngavewo nehunhu hwakanaka. Saka nyaya yemavalues, nyaya yehunhu inotichwa zvakare muFaculty muno.
Aiwa inini hunhu ndinawo.
Tinotenda zvikuru kana zvakadaro. Ndo zvinoita kuti munhu kana abva pano akuinda kunyika unenge akakwana achigona kurelata navamwe zvakanaka, achigara navamwe zvakanaka, achiita basa rake.
Asi saka munhu ese anotozvidzidza zvese ipo pano nekuda kweFaculty iyoyi.
Chokwadi.
Okay, saka amene wana wangu ari panze wangu achitaura zvekuti heritage based hakwai hanzi chi 55.0. Saka ini handina kuna kutsowanzwisisa, asi wati pane undergraduate program amuri kupa vanhu imimi kunyanyanyanya kuno kuFaculty of Arts and Humanities.
Chokwadi chaicho. Tava pekutanga regai nditini seFaculty of Arts and Humanities tino offer 21 programs. Kuvana vari kuuya tingati undergraduate 21 programs. Under heritage based education 5.0 kana chiti heritage based education 5.0 tiri kuti isusu toda kuti mwana wedu panobva pano ange ane zvinhu zvese zvanofanira kunge anazvo zvinobatsira nyika. Toda kuti mwana agone mapillars heritage based education 5.0 ndeyekuti tinodzidzisa mwana handindizvo topa mwana kuti agone kuresearcha kuita tsvagurudzo izvino zvinosanganikwa nazvo muupenyu. Tinoda kuti mwana agone kudzokera kwaakabva tingati community outreach anoona matambudziko arosangana nevanhu. Kana amaona ogona kutsvaga masolutions community outreach. Toda kuti vana vedu vagone zvakare kuve nezvinhu zvitsva zvakanga zvisipo yatingati pachirungu innovation.
Okay. Saka indanzwa makuti ka undergraduate wana wadiki sitawa kuti atokuraka ndatova nemamarriage certificate ndinawo. Saka handizive kuti kunongouya wana wadiki here kana kuti tinopindawo sei vamwe vanenge vachida